When you enter Ratify, there's a menu across the top with the dashboard and your components. There's some drop downs below those. And if you click on the components, it takes you into a folder system where the components created by the YJFL all exist. The components you will assign to your individuals in your club, and we'll go into that a little later on. There's also an individual list, so you'll be able to see everybody who's connected to the club. There's a user list, and you'll be able to access the user tree, which shows everybody in each of the clubs who's looking after their club, although you can only see the people who are attached to your club under your name. There is also some help videos on that right hand side of the menu. You can search those or select one and it will bring up some instructional videos on what to do. In this case, this is the video on how to assign components. A component is the item that you will assign to the individuals in various roles. These have all been put together by the YJFL in conjunction with Ratify. Clicking on My Components takes you to the components that are available, and there's a folder system. For example, the Working with Children check component is in the Working with Children folder, and coaching accreditations are in that folder. Clicking on the component will show you who has completed the component or who is in progress of completing the components. In this case, with the Working with Children check, we can see there are two people who have the component assigned, one not started, one is in progress. And if you click on the person's name, it takes you to their profile. And when they have shared their details, you'll be able to see the Working with Children check and, of course, their email and phone number. To assign a component, you start entering the individual's name, email, or phone number in the individual area. This will bring up lists of people who are already in Ratify, or if they are not in Ratify, you will be given the selection of no existing individual. If you click on that, you can enter the individual if you have their name, email, and phone number, and will still be able to assign components to them, and they will be invited to join Ratify to complete what you need for the club. In this case, we're entering somebody who is already in the system, but not part of the club, and that populates their information. You can select a position which will correspond with the roles in the football club so that you don't need to remember which components for each role. By selecting, in this case, we'll select the goal umpire and it will assign the Working with Children check, as that is all that's required if you are undertaking the goal umpire role. For employment type, select volunteer and then select the date prior to the start of the season to get the components completed in that time. Selecting the auto cancel will auto cancel the check 7 days after the date above if your individual hasn't started their components. Once submitted, the assignment will appear on your dashboard as well as within the component, and you can see their progress and the due date. This one's not started. You can also go in to show the details of the components. By clicking the plus signs, that will expand the modules in the component, and should you need to complete it on behalf of the individual, you can. And in this case, we can see that Michael's got a Working with Children card. He just hasn't shared it yet. When it's shared, it will turn green, and again, he will complete those components. You can also cancel the component from in here, or if they need, extend the date. There is also a check button which will apply a small tick to the end of the listing on your dashboard or within the component that shows you that you've actually checked it off. This is completely optional and up to you, and if you don't want it, you can just switch it off, and again, that little tick will be removed. You don't have to assign a component one at a time. You can use our bulk upload, which is a little tab in the assign components area. On here, there is a sample file to download, and you will need to fill it in. All of the information is here on this screen. Package IDs have been sent to the club presidents, so you could get them from that, or you can request them from us as well. You also need a numeric reports to ID, which is your client ID, and you can find that back on the user tree. Just look for your name and the ID number next to it. In this case, Laura Kane is 1418. Once you've filled out the spreadsheet, selected and uploaded it, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to see all of the information that you've put in. If you've got things you don't want, you can click on that cross and it will take them out. If an individual has had a component already assigned, it can be reassigned so they can complete it again, or you can remove it from the assignment as there is no need for them to do it again. As an individual progresses through their components, you can see that in the progress bar in your dashboard or within the components. In this case, Catherine has completed 3 modules out of the 8 in her components. When it's complete, it will be removed from your dashboard.